Hi Aquarius, welcome to your May 2019 astrology and tarot reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're regular, and if you're new, welcome. Please subscribe if you are fond of the reading that you received today. So Aquarius, it is May time, and May time is a wonderful transition from the sensitive, from the secure, from the withdrawn, from the introverted into the excited, the playful, the creative, because we see the switch from Taurus season into Gemini season. And Gemini season for Aquarians is a wonderful, exciting time. It's fellow air energy. You feel a sense of kinship with the people around you, and the excitement that you can find in even the most mundane of tasks. It really makes everything seem so much more fun. You can find the joy in everything. But before that, we do have Taurus season, and as a fellow fixed sign Aquarius, you're very aware of how limiting other fixed seasons can be for you, especially when it's something like Earth, because you already have a taste of that with Uranus being in the sign of Taurus for you, set to cause rebellion and disruption, but a lot of excitement in your living situation. So you might suddenly decide this month that you want to move. There is a conjunction between Mercury and Uranus on the 8th of May, and this may be a very unexpected conversation with a family member. They may catch you off guard. They may be asking unusual questions. There's probably something behind it, and it will be revealed, whatever that is. But it is just to be aware that with astrology, if you're aware of things, the energies, it doesn't always catch you as much by surprise. That's why it's quite good to monitor Uranus, because we do feel planetary activity the most whenever a planet shifts into a new sign or starts retrograde motion. But we also have a new moon in Taurus. And Aquarius, this is a wonderful time to create a vision board of interior design. Think about your dream house, thinking about your dream roommates. If you're looking for a roommate, if you're trying to manifest that, if you want to start a family, if you want to, what security means for you really is a big question in May. So it may be a wonderful time to calm the waters between you and a disruptive family member. If there's been tension there, Uranus can really ramp up the tension in that sector. We had that conjunction between the Sun, which would be the father, for example, conjunct Uranus, and in your family sector. So you might be dealing with some reoccurring issues with the father, even psychologically stemming back to childhood. It just represents the figure really. But we also have Mars entering Cancer, your 6th house of wellness and health, on the 15th. So you may be pushing yourself quite hard to lose weight or get fitter. You will find that exercise will be a great stress reliever no matter what's happening for you this month, Aquarius. We do have a full moon in the sign of Scorpio on May 18th. So if you could think back to November and the new moon in Scorpio in your career sector, and what you really wanted to achieve in your career, what it is that you want your reputation to be, what you want your social standing to be, those type of things. It's a very freedom loving, non-conventional type. Sometimes the 10th house Aquarius can make you think, I don't care what people think about me, or I don't want to do what's conventional. You don't have to. You can have a career in a non-conventional arena. But this full moon is going to be a culmination of the energies leading up to this. So either you will see some kind of result in your career, a change, something you've been working to, or at least, at the very, very least, a revelation in what it is that you want to do. Your mind is going to be on this. You could be having a lot of ideas pop in and out, and it's worth really grabbing hold of them. Then the sun will move into Gemini, and it is playtime. Mercury will enter Gemini again on the 21st of May, the same day the sun enters Gemini. So the language of love, Aquarius, will be all the more exciting for you. And there's nothing wrong with Taurus season for Aquarians. Trust me, there's not. It's just that you might not necessarily feel as motivated or as extroverted, and you might just want to chill out at home, binge watch a Netflix series, anything that just makes you feel comfortable. You don't have to be all glitz and glamour all the time if that's the way that you are, or you don't have to be consistently surrounded by people to feel at peace. What this really is you focusing on your shell, on your cave, whatever you want to call it. And you may spend a lot of your money on the home, on redecorating, all that stuff, but it's a wonderful time to focus on that, because a lot of people do want to change where they live. They want to change up their house, they want to manifest a house, that type of thing. New moons are the best time for manifesting, especially depending on what area they fall in Aquarius. And here we have that spark, that manifestation, that excitement. There is an idea. There's a creative idea. There's a work idea. But there's something that flags in your mind that you're going to want to roll with this month. There's going to be an excitement that you want to grab hold of. And yes, it may wait to occur until late May when the sun moves into Gemini. But it doesn't have to. You may have more than one. You may have more than one exciting project up in the air. You might have more than one source of income, for example. You might be deciding that you want to create a better life and work balance, for example. The Three of Pentacles is serving you. It is in your positive position. Your challenge this month, Aquarius, is the Three of Wands. And your outcome card is the High Priestess. Stunning. Okay, so I think I know what that's about. I'll touch on that now. And the Two of Wands. So your thoughts are very much on the future, but there's something that you need to look into first. Now, I know that sounds not very exciting. A lot of people don't like hearing about the 12th house energy, but it's worth noting, Aquarius, because there is a transitional phase there too. Saturn is retrograding in your 12th house, and so is Pluto, okay? Now, the 12th house, from what we know, it is your subconscious, it is where you go to heal, it is where you go to find answers to who you are, your psychological side, your clairvoyant side. The High Priestess is very, very 12th house oriented. She is the gateway between this world and the next, the two realms, you know. When she appears, typically it means you're having very psychic moments. And to have both Saturn and Pluto retrograding in your 12th house means you're going over some kind of old ground. Now, this will affect each Aquarian differently depending on what degree you're at in your sign, even where your Saturn falls, for example. That 12th house momentum is very much to do with looking inward. So there are some answers that only you can find yourself, but with the amount of Taurian energy where you do kind of feel a little bit more introverted and want to settle up at home, you may feel more psychologically exhausted by people around you, or psychologically exhausted by people needing you or people wanting something from you. You may just feel like the tank is running a little bit low. But there are possibly 2 or 3 very close friends who could build you up and make you feel a bit more recharged if you let them. Okay, so you're focused very much on trying to make something move, but you don't feel like you have the energy. From experience, I find that when you just simply admit that you don't have the energy, or say that you're not feeling motivated, it kind of releases you from the shackles of your need to be motivated. It kind of releases you from needing to be this high-flying motivated person all the time, because that's kind of what we're taught to do. This is not the month to burn the candle at both ends. It's not the month to do a load of overtime just to impress somebody. It's not the month to run yourself into the ground and take your work home with you. This is kind of the time of the year for you, Aquarius, where you have to nurture your own needs. And you kind of have to focus on nourishing yourself, mind, body, and soul, particularly on a soul level. The High Priestess, she's all about touching in with your own inner secrets. The 12th house is very much a house of secrets. And for you, it can lead back to something within the family unit. Maybe you had secrets within your family that you've always found a little bit hard to uncover, unravel, or discuss. It could lead, with Saturn being in the 12th, could lead to your relationship with your father, but it can also, with the 4th house energy, be the mother. So give and take, Aquarius. There's some stuff sort of popping up for you this month, and you might not be able to assess it right away and know what it is. But nonetheless, I think you would be better taking a little bit of alone time just to figure out what that is. Oh. Now, for some of you, it's an old job offer resurfacing, but for some of you, it is an old earth sign. Or it could be that slow, steady, dependent type of person that maybe didn't interest you at one point. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus energy. This is very Taurus season. That cuddled up at home, shutting out the world, wanting to feel safe, wanting to feel secure, but also bringing your work home with you. So I'm sort of seeing this re-emergence of something that you thought had gone, because the 12th house also rules the past. So what from your past is still a big defining feature, even though it may seem inactive. Inactive on a surface level, you don't see anything happening with it, you haven't seen any movement or activity there for a long time, but it's still very much within your brain. It's still very much occupying your mind at night. There may be something there. There may be some reason that something has stuck in your mind for a long time, and I think you might find out why that is. With two heavy planets, Saturn, which teaches us lessons in the 12th house, and Pluto, which rules change in the 12th house. There's a lesson that needs to be learned, and if it's not quite been processed, it is going to tickle at your brain until it has some sort of closure. Because 12th house is closure too. There's something or someone from the past that may have to make a reappearance in some level in order for you to progress, in order for you to learn something and orchestrate that change that Pluto wants to bring. For others of you, there is a very, I don't really like the term soulmate twin flames because I think they're very misguiding for people. That's just my personal opinion. I sometimes think that they can put you in the arms of someone who is abusive or narcissistic because you think that twin flame soulmate relationships are supposed to be difficult, and that's not really the case. For this Six of Cups card, I kind of get the impression that some Aquarians may be having this very psychic love affair with somebody where you feel as though they can read your mind, where you feel as though they know every need that you have. And for a lot of Aquarians, maybe when you're holed up at home, that's who you're with. It could be an earth sign, as I said, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. But there's somebody, even this, it makes me think of a wavelength. It makes me, we see the waves in the back and we see these sort of momentum going, the energy in the air. There's an energy between you and somebody else on some level. Something very, very, very serendipitous is occurring this month, Aquarius. Something that you don't even have to leave the house for. Something that just occurs organically, and you sort of see things fall into place a little bit. You sort of see things and how they connect. Because Saturn, in retrograde in your 12th house, it's always going to want to teach you a lesson. It's always going to want to teach you something that you didn't know or that took a long time to get. I generally think that Saturn being in the 12th is all about learning the lessons that you find hardest to learn, because the 12th house can affect you incredibly deeply when you're not aware of it. The first step is awareness, okay? The first step is knowing that. And if you want someone to see it, maybe ask a water sign friend, because they can identify, especially Scorpios, they're very good at identifying and analyzing things. But there's also something very cushy here. So it's like you're doing the inner work and you're doing the inner changes and you're rolling with the changes, and you are trying to be aware of what Saturn's trying to teach you and what Pluto's trying to transform. All the while, it's kind of sucking on your energy. You might be in deeper sleep in May. You might be constantly exhausted and not know why. And it is because there's a lot of thoughts swirling around in the air and you're tapping into the energy of others, that kind of thing. With that full moon in Scorpio as well, your social standing, who you are, what you have to offer the world, what your role is, will all come into question. Now, we will go into that more in the mid-monthly readings. But for now, there seems to be the kind of cozy, comforting connections that I think you sometimes, Aquarius, run away from. I feel a little bit like the retrograde motion will give you the pace to slow down and accept them and enjoy them. You know, it's sort of like people are getting that little bit closer to you, and it is on a bit more of an intimate level, I suppose. It's really lovely. I love the Six of Cups. I do think that sometimes it can represent reunions with people. And that can be old friends, it can be family. I do think for a lot of Aquarius, there could be healing within the family dynamic, within the family unit, with the people that you're living with, your families, especially earth sign people. But I get the impression with the High Priestess and the Six of Cups that there are deeper connections that maybe for some reason you isolated yourself from, and then you're reunited with it. It could be romantic, it could be friendship, as I say. But nonetheless, I think the earth signs in your life, there seems to be a very cozy connection. Although it doesn't have to be an earth sign, these cards aren't always indicative of the exact zodiac sign. It can be more to do with the characteristics of someone who's reliable, someone who makes genuine offers. And the Knight of Pentacles is somebody who doesn't like to make a promise they can't keep. They say that about Virgos. Virgos don't like to promise you anything. They don't. The idea of disappointing you sometimes can be very, very, very overwhelming. So if you're dealing with a Virgo, a Capricorn, or a Taurus, these are people that are, connecting with you, whether you believe it or not. Between the pair of you, they may not, but you have a very profound awareness of each other's needs, is what I'm saying. So the month of May, Aquarius, is going to be very much a time where you feel comforted, even if the energy doesn't feel extroverted, even if it doesn't feel like you want to be out all the time doing things, you don't feel like you want to do a bungee jump. It can be a little bit smaller than that. There's still this very genuine authenticity, which is very welcome. Okay, so if you're dealing with an earth sign in particular, I think there's a very strong connection going on there, Aquarius. The snake. Oh. So, do the snake, the turtle, and the deer. The boy's a deer. Okay, so snake, turtle, and deer. So again, we have that earth element playing through. Now, the snake is not one that I'm familiar with yet. It's not one that I've actually come across. I'm going to draw upon the book for a little bit of inspiration. But the snakes always rely on the external to keep them alive. They don't validate from within, is one thing that I sort of notice about the snake. Now, it's funny because the High Priestess is the guardian of the other realm, right? The snake in this book is known as the guardian of unawakened magic and creative potential. Okay, so the snake is a symbol of our highest potential. It is said that our creative life force lies dormant at the base of our spine in the form of a coiled snake. Regardless of whether this image rings true for you, it is well worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within. What would life look like if you woke it up? How can you stir it from slumber? An experienced yoga or meditation teacher can lead the way. Make haste, the snake card appears when there is no more time to waste. Okay. Prosperous, creative, and charismatic. So to bring this into balance, you have to practice yoga. Yoga, meditation are very 12th house energies. That makes a lot of sense. Even 4th house. You could try yoga at home. You could try it online. But there are things rising to the surface, as I said, Aquarius, that you need to sort of acknowledge and address and tap into that, because it can be, there is the creative potential here of the Ace of Wands that was mentioned in the snake. There is that potential, there is that force, and there is that excitement. The turtle makes so much sense for Taurus season, being the 4th house, because the turtle is in their own shell. They're an ancient soul, they're grounded, they're trusting, and they're at home within the self. So let's read the turtle. It is wonderful to be in the presence of a turtle personality. Strong relationship with the earth and water simultaneously. We do get this vibe of earth signs, so I'm not sure if that applies to you or not. Turtle energy is behind all great writers and storytellers as they collect life experiences under their shells for later use. So again, we have that tapping into the energy of creative potential, but things coming up from your past that are there to serve you or teach you. I get the impression that a lot of you Aquarians are teachers. You know, you're teaching people. The most potent turtle energy helps us close all the other books and begin to tell our own true tale. Okay, so when you're out of balance, you're slowing down to a halt. So you will know this month, Aquarius, even though it is the most introverted time of the year, you will know if you're too slow, okay? In balance, peaceful, adventurous, and productive. So maybe planning an adventure with somebody. You don't have to do it until Gemini season, though, if you're so not feeling that. Let me see, this deer. Okay. The deer rules the mother. That's interesting. 4th house, again, the mother. The deer represents the feminine aspects of earth energy. This energy is available to all creatures, regardless of gender, but it is especially potent in new parents. So some of you may be new parents. During the first few days, they are fully present, nurturing, and calm. Their inner beauty radiates a sense of grace, calms the room. A deer personality affects others in this way, drawing them towards quiet tenderness. So again, we have that tenderness, that coziness at home, those nurturing relationships. The deer card may appear when a birth or celebration of new life draws near, or when a situation calls for absolute gentleness and compassion. So receptive, compassionate, and nurturing. Spending time with children may make you feel a lot more connected, Aquarius. It's a really beautiful reading. I'm very happy with this. I think that you will bring a lot of your deepest intimacies to the fore. I think you'll be in a much more connected way. The 4th house is, of course, the house of Cancer. Cancerians are very nurturing, but they do have this shell. You know, it's kind of like the turtle. They're behind this shell, and they want to sort of stay at home and embrace their own, you know, their deepest relationships. And I think that's something that Aquarians could do a bit more of, and it's great to see you guys having those really lovely 6 of Cups connections in May. So I think you guys will enjoy this month. Love you all very much, and I'll see you in the next set of readings. Take care, Aquarius. Bye.